kids and versus being a support volunteer. Okay. Is that awkward moment when the technology's not working?
Jump up and down 3 times, Josh. It will work.
That's where you need to tap dance or something.
Yeah, fair.
Can you sing a song first? You have a lovely tenor voice.
There we go. There we go.
Choir.
Okay. So. Okay, so core member, I've already talked about the increased kind of commitment that's there to try to be there every week. And so I want to talk about the mission of the core team. It's obviously, it's more demanding than being a volunteer that comes once a month. And you don't have to be there every week, but as much as you can. I know, your schedule with your job won't allow you to be there every week, but I'd say be there as much as you can be there. And that's the expectation. So, along with that, many times will come to lead a small group. And the one thing I wanted to highlight is that as a core member, retreats and conferences can sometimes be a really good time of getting to know the kids. And so that's something I'd heavily encourage for core members. Of course, I encourage it for everybody, but I think going on one retreat a year, would be a great thing. And also some of the excursions and the fun stuff that we have and the service activities. Serving at youth nights, I think we've kind of already gone over those duties. There's a more interactive role that you're gonna have, and attending the core meetings and trainings. Yes, Lucy.
So how early? So since Holy Hour is right before, how early do you have to leave Holy Hour?
I mean, if you're already set up, I would say that you need to be at 15 minutes of just maybe I'd say 15 minutes to recap what you're going to do with your team, get any last minute issues resolved. But then to have 15 minutes of prayer, maybe, and then just be there early for any kids that come there early. I wish if we could get the Holy Hour moved back, like 5:30 to 6:30, that would be like the ideal situation. No,
The kids start at 7.
Kids start at 7, yeah.
I know, because I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well,
The
only because,
difficulty is in the adult class, people go, but not that many people go straight from the Holy Hour downstairs.
Except
They
for
wouldn't mind
Father.
having
He
on.
runs out of his vestments and runs downstairs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Good for
I'm
the
all for
sacristans,
5:30 to
too.
6:30. I'll campaign for that.
Move
5:36.
confession back to 4:30 or just.
Let it be 30 minutes instead of an hour. There's usually no line. If you ever want to go to confession,
Well, and they
Wednesday
can,
night.
you can go back and hear confessions during adoration too, if you choose to. But that's
But he might like to adore a little bit too.
Yeah, but he's got chapel in his
That's
track through the city.
Yeah.
His name is not Padre Pio.
So spoiled.
So you're saying that the core members would be here at
6:30.
6:30.
And if you have to, one person on a team will be given a code to get into whatever building we're going to be using, which we might have to alternate between this and the youth center, just depending on how things are and how many kids are coming. But we can't give a code to everybody. We're supposed to limit it as much as we can. So if you already have a code, how many of you have a code to get in here already?
Oh, in here? No.
Or
Code for
anywhere.
the sacristan.
Anywhere
Just
in
to the
the
church, just down to the basement. Can it be added to our code?
You already have a code.
I already have one to
There will-
Cameron Hall, but not to
There will
here.
probably be a volunteer code that changes every year, and that will allow you to get into the youth center in this building.
Oh, like they used to have for us through the church for the choir.
Probably. So, but only one person will get it because we do have to limit. We're not.
It's
Whoever
like giving
needs-
out 30 keys or
Right.
80 keys.
Mhm. And it'll change
Not here,
from year
not
to
here,
year.
but in other
If we were
parishes.
ever to have a big incident, you know, like something really bad where we had to dismiss a volunteer, we might have to change it in the middle of the year. So, but that's, okay, so at the core meetings, I just want to speak a little bit about that. Again, these are whenever your planning team can do them, and there are going to be planning meetings when there's only 2 people, because maybe the other 2 couldn't make it or the other 1 couldn't make it. That's okay, you know, you work with what you have, and you just need to communicate with them and keep them in the loop. Usually email's the best way to do that, but whatever works best for you.
Okay, so planning is even if only 2 people.
Yeah, you have to have a planning meeting to plan the life night, or the youth night. So, in its spirit, really important that you keep open communication and give and accept feedback. It's a good, I would recommend that right after the night that you've organized, you have a 10-minute recap meeting. While it's still fresh on your mind, and just write down what was good, what was the good, the bad, you know, the ugly, whatever, so that the next time you organize one, you can do that. And in some things you won't need to share with me, and other things you will. You know, it's going to be helpful for me to know we can do this better. Hey, maybe it's, you know, let me know. So, by the way, I'm not going to be on a team. I'll be coordinating the teams. So, I'll be the central person, but I won't have a team myself. Bring relevant issues to the forefront. Report any inappropriate behavior between core teens or anyone else to direct and pastor. And I'm going to give you a handout on discipline. When we break to junior and high for small groups, I would like for us to talk about discipline briefly. I don't think there's that much we need to talk about, but I just want us to go over the discipline things that are written in the handouts that I'm going to give you. It's slightly different between junior and senior high. Although sometimes I feel like with my high schoolers, they're acting like junior high, or like my 3-year-olds.
He likes coming to the junior high ones because they are
Wilder.
The junior high are better behaved than
No,
the
the
senior
junior
high
high
this
is
past
better,
semester.
Oh, really? Wow.
So as a core member, we'll get into relational ministry a little bit later and what's appropriate and what's not. And getting to know the teens is a really important part of that. So that's all I wanted to just briefly go over there. Are there any questions about commitments of core versus core support? Okay.
I have a comment.
Sure.
Just, I think it's what you're saying, along with what you're saying about the core being present, not just at the once a week, but trying to be present more often, right? Is that what you're kind of saying? Or
When we get into I have one of the presentations we'll do after small groups is on relational ministry, and I'll get into kind of the details of that expectation. Unless we could, let's just go ahead and do that now.
yeah, I'm just saying. I mean,
Might
it is
fit
kind of
into
important for the core to be there a little bit more regularly, you know, to build those relationships,
Right.
and also to notice trends, just among the teams, among who's, what the teams are doing, and because if everyone shows up once a month, then it's going to be really hard to
Build relationships.
build any type of relationship or notice anything that's actually happening among the teams. So I think it's kind
Yeah.
of just important to have a little bit of continuity and to be aware of what's actually happening with, with even if it's just relationships among the teenagers. I mean, it's like, oh, by the way,
So-and-so.
these two have been, sitting closer and closer lately. Or, we keep an eye out, make sure we're not, there's nothing inappropriate happening. Just stuff like that, because if you show up only once a week, then it's going to be really hard to just notice
See those trends.
stuff like
Only
that.
once a week.
Once
I
a
think.
month.
Or once a month, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Every day.
Is anybody getting hot in here?
Yeah,
It is warm now.
Like there's no happy
Yeah.
medium. The people that are too hot can go in the other room.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
We'll turn it back on again. So basically, I think what we'll do, relational ministry means building ministering through relationships, which is what Jesus did. I mean, it's not just me getting up and talking to a group of people. It's me getting to know 5 or 6 people, and that's what we will do when I go through the putting the teams together. Each core member on the planning team, the core member, let's just call them the leader of the planning team. You'll be kind of like the leader of the planning team. We will try to form small groups. We'll have same gender small groups that won't meet every week because it's not always a part of the program. I'd say on average probably twice a month. But those you'll be assigned to like 6 to 8, depending on what the numbers are. 6 to 8 teenagers that you're going to really focus on. It doesn't mean that you only talk to them, but you want those kids to be the first ones that you talk to, when you're there. You want to make a special effort to, when you see them at Mass, if to reach out to them and to invite them to come or whatever, and to pray for those 6 to 8 or 10 kids, specifically by name, at your holy hour, because that's what's going to really make a difference. So, building Christ-centered relationships with teens, their families, and their peers. Again, the families. You're not just, when you get the name of the teen who's going to be in your small group, if you're going to be doing a small group, you will also try and get to know the parents a little bit too. I mean, you don't have to have them over dinner or anything, but know their names and know what they do for a living, and just kind of that basic stuff. Through outreach opportunities and in-reach opportunities, being present in their everyday lives. Outreach is more like giving a phone call and inviting them to an event, or sending an email or putting on their Facebook wall. In-reach is when you see them at other church, at Mass or at other church events. That's the difference between outreach and in-reach in relational ministry. Being present in their everyday lives. Now that is, I should temper that with, the Life Team really encourages the core team to, with the teens they're assigned to find out their schedules and to even try to attend one of their sports games and things like tournaments. I would say do that as much as you can, but don't overdo it. You know what your boundaries of your schedule are, but if they're going to be involved in something really big, it would mean a lot to them for you to be there. You're not going to every soccer game, but if there's a big tournament, showing up for one of those, or a big recital or something like that, because chances are there's probably going to be other kids that are here that are involved in that too. So I forgot to give you the handout for this. Sorry. Hand these out. The old bottle of youth ministry was a youth minister. Was supposed to do this all by his or herself.
You can't make everyone sporting events?
Right. Yeah.
Aren't we glad those days are over?
Yeah. So it's kind of like you all are youth ministers, in a sense, without all the safe environment paperwork and all the bureaucratic things and meetings and boring diocesan things.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you get to go to